In a world where carbs are your enemy, you need one man to help you fight your battles. That man is Jimmy.
Combating nutrition disinformation and general bull. It's Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another Instagram Live, and we're here with another episode of Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com is the website. As always, if you want to engage live in the content, you got to go follow me over on Instagram Live. I'm at Living Low Carb Man, LIVINLOWCARBMAN. Once you're there, you can engage live, just like all these amazing people are doing right now. Thank you guys for being here today on Jimmy Rants. If you missed the live, it's all good. We do have it on replay for you on Instagram for up to 24 hours, so go check it out there. After 24 hours, though, it does disappear from Instagram. You'll need to pop on over to YouTube, type in a keyword search Jimmy Rants. You will find the show, or go to youtube.com/livinglowcarbman. Finally, the best of the best moments of this here show. We got a podcast for you. It's called Jimmy Rants over on Apple Podcasts as well as Stitcher. All of these links, you guys, are at JimmyRants.com. Today's Jimmy Rants is one of the craziest things I've ever done. Stick with me, though, because I think it's going to be crazy good, or it might be crazy hilarious. And either way, you get to stick around and see what happened. So, if you've watched my last two Jimmy Rants episodes, they have only been about one singular thing. I have been flipping a tractor tire in my front yard over here on the side of the yard. And I will be doing that here momentarily. But I thought it would be interesting to add a new wrinkle to the tire flipping, because there are things out there that can enhance exercise performance. And they make these claims that they do that very thing. And so I thought, okay, let's test one of those things here today. And what I'm going to be testing is this thing called Ketone Esters. And I'm going to come back to that here in a minute and show you on camera what I will be taking. I'm going to take it visibly here on camera with you so you can see the reaction that happens. And then I'm going to get out there and kick that tire's butt again. So you've heard of exogenous ketones. There's various companies out there that sell exogenous ketones. This is basically a supplement that you can take that boosts your beta hydroxybutyrate levels in your blood. Well, there is also ketone esters. And I'm going to show you, this is, as far as I know, this is the only commercially sold one. And guys, they are not a sponsor or anything. I've had this in my refrigerator for a little while, but it's this company called Ketone Aid. I've done this before, way back when Periscope was a thing. I used to do Periscope videos. I actually took some Ketone Aid on camera on Periscope, and I lost that video. I don't have that video anymore. So I'm like, I need to do this with Jimmy Rants and go on camera taking ketone esters. So what's a ketone ester? So you know how exogenous ketones let you have like a powder that you mix with some liquid of some sort, you drink it and you're ketones go up a nominal amount, right? So let's say you test before and you have a 0.7, then you take exogenous ketones and an hour later they're at 1.3. Okay, so it's a nominal increase in your blood ketones, and you get a little bit of a boost in energy that way. But ketone esters, yeah, all that's out the window. Think of ketone esters as exogenous ketones on acid. Think of and imagine that your blood ketones are, say, 0.6 when you start, then you drink ketone esters. Within like 10 to 15 minutes, you're already at like 4 to 5 in your blood ketones. And so the theory is when you're in that really high ketone range, and you're going to see on camera the way it responds in me, you're going to get to see the visible physical reaction. That's going to be the hilarious part for those of you that stick around. When you get ketones to go that high, that fast. So you guys ready for all this? This is going to be fun. And then when they're in that 4 or 5 range, I'm going to pop out there and let's flip the crap out of that tire. And I want to see, okay, do I feel stronger? Do I feel like I can recover quicker? Can I go more than 10 rounds? I don't know. We're going to find out here momentarily. But first things first, let's test blood sugar and blood ketones. I did this a couple of hours ago on social media. So if you follow me on Instagram at Living Low Carb Man, those of you not watching on Instagram, if you follow me there, I posted my blood ketones, I think were like 0.8, and my blood sugar was like 87 a couple of hours ago. Now, things fluctuate in the morning. I anticipate blood sugar is probably a little bit higher. Blood ketones might be a little lower, but let's see where we stand before we get started. All right, so let's go to the blood ketones first using the Keto Coach meter, and then I'm gonna test the blood sugar. All right, so let's see what we got here. On the Keto Coach, we got 0.6, so that's pretty good. 0.8 a couple hours ago, so 0.6, this is the baseline before I take the ester. 0.6 is where I started. I want you to remember that, okay? And then blood sugar is 88. So blood sugar really controlled right now. 0.6, really good blood ketone levels. And if you're just joining us, Jimmy Moore has gone cray-cray today because he's going to be taking some ketone esters from Ketone Aid. Again, they're not a sponsor or anything. I just want to test their whole thing. They call it a performance-enhancing sports drink, and it is used for outdoor sports. Well, if I'm flipping a friggin' tire, then that's outdoor sports. So, all right, but let me warn you first. The reaction you're about to see of me on camera drinking this stuff, the best way to describe it is a mild form of jet fuel. Yeah, so just imagine what jet fuel would taste like. That's a ketone ester, okay? So behind it, you have a chaser ready to go. I've got some LaCroix that's gonna be a chaser, and I've got partitioned out amount. This particular vial goes to 45 milliliter, but they say the serving size is 60 milliliter. I don't know why they didn't just make it 60. Anyway, they didn't ask my opinion. But I'm gonna go now, guys. I'm gonna stick this in my vial here. We're gonna unscrew the cap. It's like an ominous, like, what's gonna happen? All right, well, it smells better than the last time I did that. When I did this on Periscope, I think their version of it wasn't that great. This one has D-beta-hydroxybutyrate ester, water, L-taurine, which is one of the amino acids, potassium citrate, which I assume is for flavor, organic stevia, and then some natural flavors. All right, so let's pour into this vial. I'm going to go up to the 45 line first, and then I do want to get 60 mils in me. All right, so let me get the chaser ready, guys. Here we go. You got to have the chaser ready or this stuff is just disgusting. You ready? I'm not. All right, here we go. All right. That wasn't as bad. Oh. Yes, it was. Okay. That was disgusting. It wasn't bad going in, but then once it was in, it was really gross. And yes, I shot it. So that was 45. I need 15 more. Or should I go for 80? Forget 60. Should I go for 80? If I go for 80, no, the 90. 245s would be 90. That would be really crazy. Why don't I just do 15 more? To get the serving size, Jay. All right, almost there. All right, so 15 more. This will be the official serving size for the ketone ester. And yes, if you're just joining us, Jimmy Moore has lost his rocker. I am now taking a ketone ester. It's called Ketone Aid. And as soon as I get this back on the, there you go. Ketone Aid. They're not a sponsor or anything. Frank, who is with the company, sent me that ginormous bottle. And the cap didn't go back on. Let me make sure the cap's on straight. And so I've always wanted to kind of test it in a real world kind of sports situation. So when I started flipping the tire again a couple of days ago, actually five days ago, I knew I wanted to test this. All right, so let me get that last little bit. I did a whole vial, so this little bit should not be that much. All right. Yeah, Jimmy about to get cray-cray for sure. Here we go. Guys, I can imagine what jet fuel tastes like. That's jet fuel. Woo, that is so disgusting. But there is a point to this, so stick with me. What's interesting is if you don't drink LaCroix and then you taste it without having the ester, you think it doesn't taste very sweet. But once you've had ketone ester and you taste it with LaCroix, this is the sweetest tasting drink you've ever had in your life. Woo! All right. That nasty flavor does not get out of your mouth. Here, let me add a little salt. The salt did help a little. All right. All that histrionics to say, give it about 5 minutes and it's going to kick in. And where I'm going to feel it the most is right here, because those ketones are now in the bloodstream. And one of the favorite places for ketones to go is the brain. And so there will be this kind of flushing feeling that happens all in the brain. And I'll feel it. It'll feel like literally I'm floating. It'll feel like flames coming out. It's going to be so warm sensation. So yes, if you just joined us, Jimmy Moore just took a 60 milliliter serving of a ketone ester, because I'm doing an N=1 experiment today, you guys, where I want to test what this supposedly sports enhancing performance drink does for my ability to flip that tire out there. So I've been flipping the tractor tire lately. And I did 8 rounds on Thursday of 10 flips. I did 10 rounds of 10 flips on Saturday. Well, here it is 2 days later, and we did this with the ketone ester, and I'm waiting for the ester to come in, to kick in, and once it kicks in, you're gonna know it, because I already have a lot of energy, but you get a lot of energy You get a lot of kind of brain health stuff going on. And some people have been like, well, what's the point? You know, you don't really need to boost your ketones that high, blah, blah, blah. But when you're trying to target some kind of a physical activity, like flipping a tire, like a really hard workout, I can imagine athletes probably taking some of this before they go out on the field or the court or whatever their sport is. And it gives them that boost. I mean, can you imagine if they use something like that instead of like goos and gels, which don't last very long? Now, let me talk about, based on my previous experience, let me talk about how long this lasts. So exogenous ketones, they typically get in the system. These are traditional exogenous ones. They get in the system, raise your ketones about an hour, hour and a half, maybe up to 2 hours in, and then it starts to fall off, and within 3 to 4 hours it's gone. Ketone esters work at a much faster rate. So it starts to kick in, and it's been now about 5 minutes since I've had it. I'm going to give 5 more minutes before I test my blood sugar and ketones again. I want you guys to see how quickly it goes up. Or maybe I could do it now and then do it again in 5 more minutes. You guys want to see it now? I think this will be fun. But goes up really, really fast with the ketone ester, the blood ketones do. And then they come back down pretty quick too. So it would definitely be for targeted sports performance. All right, yeah, it's been about 5 minutes. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do it now, both blood sugar and blood ketones. Remember, it was 0.6 was my blood ketone, and what was it, 87, 86, whatever it was for the blood sugar. So let's see what has happened just 5 minutes after taking this ketone ester. This ought to be fun, guys. I want to see what you think it's going to be. Go ahead and put down really quick what you think the readings are going to be just 5 minutes after having the ester. Any guesses? Guess, guys. Look what happened to my blood sugar. It's at 100 now. That's really interesting. Just 5 minutes ago, it was 86. It could be because my body's like, what did you just put in me? All right, good guesses. Man, you guys are like high hopes for 5 minutes. 5 minutes in, it's more than doubled. So it went from 0.6 to 1.3 in 5 minutes, okay? So we're going to give it 5 more minutes, and we should see a pretty precipitous rise at that point. When I get it to like, I think over 3 would probably do the trick, because while I'm out there, it'll continue to rise. But this is really fascinating. If you've never used ketone esters before, it's definitely meant for sports performance. I see my friend Dr. Jay Wiles just came on here. Jay, I'm sure you've seen these ketone esters, and he's a brain health guy, and you see the benefits that come from that. I'm starting to feel them starting to kick in. It's not quite that. My friend Keto Coach Lauren actually says when she tried this that it makes you smell colors. So if that gives you an idea of what it's supposed to be like. Yeah, Jay says, you bet I have. I knew you had, man. So I tested my blood sugar. It was 100, 5 minutes after testing, where it was 86. And then my blood ketones have gone from 0.6 to 1.3 in just 5 minutes. And how long does it last? So it'll last maybe an hour to an hour and a half. But you get that huge spike in the blood ketones, and you feel it in the brain, you feel it in the energy in your body. My point of doing this today is let's see what impact it has on that HIIT training that I'm doing. So I've got the tire all set up out there. I'm going to be flipping it here in a minute. I want to see several things. I want to see strength. What is my strength like? I want to see recovery between sets, because when you're doing HIIT training, recovering and being able to go again is kind of a big deal. And I want to see how many sets I can go. This is wicked, guys. I have to stop. I'm getting a ringing in the right ear now. I mean, it just kind of just suddenly, that was the weirdest sensation. But I want to see if I can go more than 10 sets. Does it increase your heart rate? Meow wants to know. I mean, I assume there's probably an ancillary effect that would make your heart rate go up, but not directly, no. I feel pretty good, actually. So we're coming up on about a minute and a half left till the 10-minute mark, and I'm just starting to feel it, you guys, hitting my brain. And when it hits that, I mean, I'm not responsible for what comes out of my mouth in a high ketone state. Is this interesting to you guys at all? Because I think there's all these tools that are out there, all these kind of products and companies claiming things about products that you might sometimes get confused, and you might be like, I just don't know about this. And that's fair. I think that's very wise to be very skeptical of all these companies. And even this company, I mean, it's a great product. I'm gonna go ahead and test now. It's a great product to kind of see what the body can withstand as far as ketones and then what impact that has. So I'm gonna go ahead and test. It's been right at 10 minutes since I took those esters, and I want you guys to see it was 1.3 the last time, which was like 5 minutes ago. Remember, we started at 0.6. It was 1.3 5 minutes ago. 5 minutes after the 0.6, it went to 1.3. What do you think it is now? I will give you a clue. Blood sugar is now 97. Remember, it started at like 87. 5 minutes later, it went to 100. 5 minutes after that, it's now at 97. So guess, guys. We got the Keto Coach meter here. What do you think the number is? Oh, some good numbers. Yania says 2.3. Beth says 4.5. Macadamia nut or Macadamia Maria 3.7. Michelle says 2.7. Here we go, guys. Here it comes. 2.4. So it's getting there. Within 10 minutes, we went from 0.6 to 2.4. And within 5 more minutes, guys, I will easily be over 3, very likely close to 4 in the blood ketones. And so we're going to give it 5 more minutes. And then when the ketones are north of 3 is when I'm going to get out there. Now, so what's physiologically happening for me right now? See how quickly those ketones go up. It's pretty amazing. Your body responds. Your body is like, hey, dude, this is cool. Thanks for all the extra energy. So I'm feeling kind of a warming sensation all across the brain. I can literally feel that in my eyes. They're kind of burning a little bit. And the brain, it feels like flames are just shooting out of my head. And again, if you joined us late, I took this thing called a ketone ester from Ketone A. They're not a sponsor or anything, but I've been wanting to try this within the exercise performance category. So I've been flipping a tire lately. So I got the 60 milliliter serving size, and it's got the D-beta hydroxybutyrate, ester, water, L-taurine, potassium citrate, organic stevia, and natural flavors. So I took it about 10-ish minutes ago, and within 15 minutes, I should see my ketones. They went from 0.6, 5 minutes later, 1.3, 5 minutes after that, what was the reading? 2.7 or whatever it was. The next reading should be a pretty high reading, as if those aren't high enough, but a pretty high reading that then I'm going to get out there and start flipping the tire. I got my gloves all ready today. And we're definitely going to give this a go. Are you smelling colors yet, says Brittany. Yes. Can you tell I've gotten happier just like suddenly? That's not without accident either. So, yes, they should definitely use this as an antidepressant. If you're ever feeling bad, just take some ketone esters. Hey. I've never been high in my life, but I'm assuming this is somewhat what it feels like. So. All right, T-minus about 2-ish minutes left, guys, and I'm going to test one more time. Thanks for hanging out with me here today on Jimmy Rants. I think, if for nothing else, just the entertainment value of seeing Jimmy Moore look like he's high is worth the price of admission being here today. So, yeah, we're going to give this a go. And I'm excited to get out there. I've never done taking the ketone esters and then actually trying to use it for the stated purpose, which it says right on the bottle, performance-enhancing sports drink. All right, so we're going to test that theory of what performance-enhancing sports drink means. Yes. Yeah. I'm going to flip a tire. Yes, give me about a minute and a half more, guys, and I'm going to test. I'll go ahead and get... Yes, I do seem happier because that's what this stuff does to you, man. I don't take drugs. I take ketones. Kids don't do drugs. And now I can't stop laughing. Yes, you hear the chickens in the background. They're right outside the back door here. Can you imagine if I'm this happy now? When I'm flipping that tire and I'm in a lot of pain, am I still going to be laughing? All right, guys, it has been 15 minutes. Who wants to guess what the ketones are now? If you just joined us late, my ketones before I took the ketone ester, right at 15 minutes ago, my blood ketone levels came in at 0.6 before I started. Then I drank 60 milliliters of the ketone ester. At 5 minutes in, the reading was 1.3. At 10 minutes in, it was 2.7. So now we're 15 minutes in, and let's see where we are with the blood ketones. Go ahead and give me your guess. We're going to come to you here in a second. It's going to be real exciting to see what happens. I'm going to show you blood sugar first. 100. So it kind of likes that 100. All right, 3.7, 3.8, 3.5. Are you fasted now, or will you eat after the workout? Wondering if you get jittery. I am fasted now. Let's see, what time did I eat? So it looks like I'm about 15 hours into a fast right now. So it did not go up much higher, 2.2. I wonder because I'm more keto adapted now than when I did this, say, 3 or 4 years ago. I forget exactly when I did that. That I'm uptaking the ketones a lot more readily now. So the point is they're pretty high. So we're going to go ahead and go out there now, you guys. Those of you that may have never been keto adapted before and you did this, you'd probably see very, very high levels of blood ketones, like in the 5, 6, maybe 7 range, taking these ketone esters. And I know that the guy behind the ketone esters says that, hey, if you want to ward off some of the effects of fasting that happen in the early days, use the ketone esters for that purpose. And it's a good theory that you could do it that way. I may try that when we do our longer fast. Oh, I just dumped my water. That wasn't smart. All my water just went right into the ground. Let's go refill the water. Gotta have some water. So I may try it when I do the extended fast in the end of August, towards the end of August, August 19th is when we're going to start it. I may try the first couple of days taking these ketone ester to deal with, well, I guess the first day would be fine, but the second day is when it would be really bad. So yeah, all of Jimmy's fingers are still bleeding profusely from all the sticks. Yeah, when I did the every hour on the hour last week, it was bad. All right, can't spill this one because I just ran out of the water in the machine there, so. Close the door. Actually gonna stick the water right here. All right, so who is ready for me to slay that tire? I am aiming for 10 rounds, that is the goal. But if I go more, I won't stop. We're gonna see what this ketone ester does. And yes, if you joined us late, you missed the fun part. I'm about to flip a tire. That's sort of fun, but the really fun part was watching Jimmy Moore tripping on ketones. So you guys ready? I gotta go over there and get it. I'm gonna set you down here. You should have a nice view of the entire path of where I'm gonna be flipping. Remember, that thing weighs like 200 pounds. So this ain't chump change that I'm doing here. Everybody's like, that looks so easy. Okay, if it's easy, go do it yourself. It ain't easy. All right, you guys ready? Round one, here we go. One down. So far, so good. It's pretty good right now. And that's good. I feel like I'm recovering quicker between sets. My rest time was about half that way. We're gonna go again. 4. All right, some observations. Rest time between sets, a lot better. And while I'm out of breath, I was much more out of breath the other day. I feel strong through the lifts. I feel like my pace is really good. And I'm obviously seeing benefits. Rest between sets has been really good. 4 down, guys. At least 6 more to go. No dizziness yet, but it doesn't usually hit this early. Usually around 7 or 8 is when the dizziness, if it's going to happen, kicks in. It's getting hard. It's getting a lot harder. Oh, that was a tough round. Y'all still with me? I need support. Woo! That sun is bearing down. It's not near as hot, but it's still bearing. Coming this way, it's uphill, so it's a lot harder than going that way, which is slightly downhill. All right, round 7. As I just scared all the neighbors. I'm done. 8 rounds. I got dizzy on the 7th round. I had to stop. I will always listen to my body if I can't make it. Oh, all right. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Hey, I would take some of that cold Oklahoma weather if I had it. Oh. All right. Getting out of the gloves. We're going to see what the blood ketones and blood sugar's doing here in a second. Hang with me, guys. Still getting the gloves off. I felt good throughout, so that's a bonus. Round 7, I did get dizzy. So I knew 8 would be my last one. Dilly dilly. All right, let's pull out a Keto Coach blood ketone testing strip and put that in the meter. Get out a blood sugar testing strip. Ooh. That was a good workout, guys. I felt good, despite getting dizzy on the 7th round. All right, so let's stick that strip in there. Which finger have I not mutilated the most? All right, let's try this one. All right. So, we got the blood going. This is post-workout. I just did a very, what's called glycolytically demanding workout. And that means there's probably a lot of glucose floating around in the blood, which we're going to find out here in a second what that is. So, not shabby, and I'm thinking the ketone ester might be affecting this. This is a 92 post-workout. That's usually a little bit higher post-workout. Who thinks they know how many ketones I have left? Now, I will give you a hint. In that glycolytically demanding workout, I used up a bunch of them. So, in that context, who wants to guess what the ketone level is? I'm going to give you a few seconds here. All right, and I'm going to share in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1.5. So 1.5 right after doing a very glycolytically demanding workout. I know it looks like 1.2 on your screen, but it's 1.5. But very glycolytically demanding workout, which in the absence of glucose, it shows up in using up the ketones. So people are, oh, well, why don't you have higher and higher ketones right after you work out? Well, think about it. It's your energy source. I'm going to move a little closer to you guys. It's your energy source. So when you have energy in the body, which is what the ketones are, and then you expend energy flipping a tire like I just did, it stands to reason ketones will go down. Now, the interesting part of all this is in a couple of hours from now, those ketones are going to go back up again. Not because of the ester, but because of the exercise. And we saw several people during the 5-day ketosis challenge last week exhibit that. They did a workout, and you could see a couple hours later, the blood sugar was down and the blood ketones were up. That's all normal. So, got a little grass all over me. I mowed my grass yesterday, so there's grass literally all over my shoes, everywhere. You guys notice how since I came back in, I got my breath back quicker than I have been the last couple of times. Now, some of that might be that I'm getting more used to the cardiovascular workout nature of that. So thus my cardiovascular is responding better. Some of it could be the higher ketones though. And so I don't want to discount that could be playing a positive role here. So if you joined us way late, I just completed an N=1 testing of the tire flipping HIIT, which I've done the last 2 Jimmy Rants episodes. And I took this thing called a ketone ester. So if you guys have never looked into ketone esters before, again, they're not a sponsor. I don't have any affiliation with them. I make no money telling you about this company. But they got a really cool product that's available to consumers. Ketone Aid is what they call it. And so it's a ketone ester. This was like in development for years. And I remember when they first started coming out with them in like prototype form, the prototypes for like a little vial of 60 milliliters, which is what I had as the serving size today. That little vial was $3,000. Yes, $3,000. Now they've perfected the formulation. It tastes better. So as bad as it tasted much worse before, at least this now, and they've got a protocol to have the chaser and maybe some chewing gum to cover up the effects in the mouth, because it is pretty hard in the mouth. But the taste is much better now than when they first came out with it. But it's not $3,000 for 60 milliliters anymore. I think the 60 milliliter might be like 50, but I don't know. I'm not affiliated with them in any way. Go look it up. Go Google Ketone Aid, and I'm sure they'll be able to have all that information for you. But I feel good, guys. I got my 3rd tire flipping HIIT workout in 5 days. I've never done this quickly doing another HIIT workout. Saturday I was not feeling it, and I stretched the muscles and got the kinks and soreness out and warmed up and was able to go 10 rounds. Today, it was much warmer out there this morning than it was even Saturday at midday. And I think that sun bearing down from just being so low really didn't help matters. But I wanted to see what the esters would do. And I did get benefit. I could tell I was able to go shorter times of rest between sets, so that was good. I was able to catch my breath a little faster, so that was good. In the early rounds, I did feel very strong, but again, I don't know if that was the esters or just I'm getting more used to doing this again. But all in all, I'm glad I took it just to see what would happen. I think it's an interesting experiment for anybody to just give a go, see how you do, see if you get any benefits. All right, I want to see what you guys have to say. I'm going to go all the way back to the beginning, all kind of questions from when I took the ester all the way to me doing the workout, and then talking to you here in the end. G Bev's Keto says you've been kicking butt with that tire. Hey, I'm trying. The problem is we're leaving on a trip tomorrow, and we're going to be gone tomorrow, Tuesday, all the way through late in the day next Monday. So I won't have a tire to flip. I'm going to be in some hotel rooms. So I'm going to have to improvise with hotel room equipment. There is this thing called parking lot suicides, that if I could find a portion of the parking lot at the hotel we're staying at, I might do that for my HIIT training. If you've never done parking lot suicides, it's where you have the little lines for the parking lots. You go the first line, you go back. You go the second line, you go back. You go the third line, you go back, so forth and so on, so that the intervals become a lot wider the longer you go. That could be an interesting HIIT workout to improvise without having the tire to flip. Keto Fit Mom 5 says, dang, I want some esters now. Yeah, if you're struggling to get your ketone levels up and you're not feeling the positive effects of ketosis, it could be something to at least let you feel it. I think exogenous ketones in that instance probably does the trick. But if you really want to like kickstart it and get a boost, and especially if you're active and do sports performance or you go to the gym, this could be something to boost your performance before you go for a heavy lifting session or before you go and do whatever your physical activity is. it could give you benefit. I think it's worth looking into. Lavender Storm has a great question. Can anyone use this, or is it only for those who are keto adapted? Anybody could use it. I think if you're more keto adapted and you've been adapted for a while, you're going to get the response that Jimmy Moore just did. My ketones peaked out at like 2.6 and very quickly went back down again. I think because my body is so efficient at using the ketones and knowing where to shuttle them in the body, I don't get that really high reading anymore. So when I did this 4 or 5 years ago, my body was not as adapted as it is now. So I was able to consume it, and my blood ketones got as high as like 5.6 very quickly. And I think if you're a newbie or if you don't currently keto, you're going to see that extremely high number. Remember, not dangerous high, but extremely high in the context of what you would see with nutritional ketosis, which is typically around 1 to 2 at the most. And so yeah, don't freak out if you get a higher number, but don't freak out if you're very well keto adapted and you see a lower number like I did here today. Still a good high number, 2.6, 2.7, whatever it was, but not that really high that I saw before. Rona Mode says, I can see in your face you've lost weight. I have lost weight, 25 pounds so far, but this is just a start. Just you guys wait till I come back from sabbatical. I'm going to come on Jimmy Rants. I won't show you my face. I'll just talk to you, and then I'll turn around. Bam. You're going to see it. You watch. It's going to happen. You watch. Beth says, how long does it take to burn off the esters before you start using your own again? I can see how this might boost your butt into high gear for a workout. So it's a great question, Beth. I don't know enough about the esters per se, the specific ones. I just know that this is like, think of it as like jet fuel. Literally, it tastes like jet fuel. So think of it in that way. But the ketones that are in your body are that long-lasting fuel. So you get that burst of energy and burst of the ketone boosting from the ester, but what sustains you is the continued ketones that your body is making endogenously that keep those benefits going for long after the ester has worn off. How much for that bottle? I heard it's nasty. It is nasty. Again, I don't know what the cost is. Keto Fit Mom 5, that honestly, they sent it to me, and they're not a sponsor or anything. Just look them up, Ketone Aid. Frank is really good about communicating. You could actually look them up probably here on Instagram. So if you'll type in Ketone Aid, Ketoneaid, I believe is how you'll spell it, and send them a message, I'm sure they'd be happy to give you a pricing guide if you wanted to look into it. Why do I feel like we're having or hazing a new college applicant, says Macadamia Mafia. This would be something they would do on like Fear Factor. Make them drink like, I did just 60 milliliters. Can you imagine if they had somebody drink like 200 milliliters on Fear Factor? Remember that show, Fear Factor? That would be hilarious. What is a good ketone level in the morning? So that's a general question, Bonnie. This is not the one to do it on because we're talking about ketone esters, but there is no such thing as the answer to your question. Lindy, keto teacher mom, ketone esters, OMG, yes. You saw it in the flesh, Lindy. Whoa, I see wings sprouting out of you now, says Beth. Yes. You guys crack me up. Keto Fit Mom 5, Jimmy getting cray-cray, inspiring us to go all beast mode. Rawr. G. Bev says, that wasn't bad. Yes, it was. Michelle as well, can you explain why someone would want to use them? Is it just for exercise? Well, again, I'm not a shill for this company. I don't know much about the product. I know what ketone esters are and do, and I know that they promote this for exercise performance. In fact, right on the bottle, they have a warning not for pregnant women or children, and be sure to consult your doctor before you use it outside of sports performance. So they are marketing it specifically for sports performance. I would assume something like that could probably be used in any circumstance where higher ketone levels are desired. So if someone has cancer and they're using keto to treat it, if somebody has a neurodegenerative or a traumatic brain injury type of issue that they need higher and higher ketones, I could see them using that for that purpose. But just for general, I want to be in ketosis, it's probably not for that purpose. Maybe they should put a flavor enhancer in it. Yeah, they did, Beth, and it still tastes disgusting. There's just no way to hide the ester flavor. Those esters are just disgusting. But they do raise your ketones. Brooks says, you look amped up though. Yes, I was right after having it. So you need an intern for these experiments, says Macadamia Mafia. Are you volunteering to be my intern? Does it make you feel jittery like other pre-workouts? So it's no. If anything, it just made me more hyped, more energetic, very cognitively on point and in the moment. So that was good. Kitty Caddick says, too much torture, just caffeine pill and L-carnitine will take you to the next level. Yeah, they could. But it's a lot of fun, Kitty Caddick, when you can do ketone esters. How long does it last? Yeah, I answered that. About an hour, hour and a half. I love this live testing. Thank you, Fat Fuel Fitness. And Linda, thank you for those. Yeah, I wanted to do this for a little while. And so this seemed like the appropriate moment. Yania says, I think you're going to miss doing all these experiments during your sabbatical. Oh, I'll keep doing them. I just won't be on camera. Okay, I'm running out of time, guys. I'm getting the countdown now, so let me finish up. Let me scroll all the way to the end here, because I'm running out. Don't give Jimmy any ideas. Uh-oh, what ideas? Ketone ester on Amazon, a set of 3 cans is $102, says Mary. That's awesome. Have I been in a stall? No, I've been losing. Thank you, Michelle. If you missed this, you guys, flip this king-size mattress, says Keto Neogenesis. If you missed any of this, go back and watch the replay. And if you miss it on Instagram here, be sure to watch it on YouTube at the very beginning. If you missed the very beginning when I took the ketone esters, that alone was worth the price of admission. But then I went out there and I flipped the tire with those ketone esters. They got my ketones as high as like 2.7, started at 0.6, and within 10-15 minutes was almost 3. And then I did the workout. So go back and watch it if you missed it. That's it for this episode of Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com is the website. As always, you can engage live in the content, but you got to go follow me over on Instagram Live. I'm at Living Low Carb Man there. If you missed the live, you can watch it on replay for up to 24 hours. Then pop on over to YouTube, type in a keyword Jimmy Rants or youtube.com/livinglowcarbman. We also have a podcast on Apple Podcasts and Stitcher. All of these links, you guys, JimmyRants.com. So until next time, I'm not taking esters the next time. We'll see you then.